Good evening, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week. So the time now is 18:30 South African time. That is 16:30 GMT. It's on a Saturday, so the live webinars are now going to be on a Saturday. Go to our website and check the new time slot. It's going to be on Saturdays and not on Sundays anymore. It will still premiere at 10 a.m. South African time, which is 8 a.m. GMT on YouTube. All right, so talking about our website, look out for our contact details under the description of all our videos. You'll find them under the description. That is all our contact. So that is our contact details there. So you will find there the Telegram channel where you can also find the live webinar links for these sessions. Our Trading View, you can follow us on Trading View there. Our website is going to change. We're going to have it's going to be the same link, but we have revamped the website. It's going to be more user-friendly with more content, especially for our members. So look out for the new Look website in the next coming week. It's going to be something amazing. Members are going to definitely enjoy this. Right, so if you're new, please follow us on Twitter. You are going to find a lot of content on Twitter and on Facebook as well. Check out our Facebook page here. So talking about social media platforms, we're posting a lot of charts there, especially the summary of our trade recaps, but not just that, also the chart of the week. If you remember, last week we had an amazing trade on gold. Chart of the week, as you can see, I have posted this one here in our page on Facebook before the move happened. We're going to be going through this shortly. So if you had subscribed or if you've liked the page, you would have got this trade which had gone over 380 pips in just a matter of a few days. So like us on Twitter and Facebook. Check out also our Instagram page, which we will soon add them. Right, so we also have another excellent trade for the next coming week, a high probable trade. So look out for that trade on our website. So if you check on our website, we also have our trade of the week. We also posted the trade of the week there. That is where you can find the chart of the week. As you can see, it was gold. It was on all our social media platforms. That was a gold US dollar trade, as you can see. So whether you had subscribed to the website or you have liked the Facebook page or followed us on Twitter, you would have received this amazing trade. All right, so we all know that we are currently in a crisis as far as the COVID-19 pandemic is concerned. So a lot of people are losing their jobs, and one of the few ways to make money is through online trading, and this is how you can actually make money. If you are consistent and you know what you're doing, you can actually make a lot of money doing this. Right, so let's go through today's analysis. We're going to start with trade recaps. Before that, look out for our next course. Starts on the 3rd of August. So if you're interested in attending our course, it starts on the 3rd of August. It's a 10-day course. So the course is available immediately on the website. The recordings are on the website. You can take it there and you will still attend the live 10-day course. The idea with this is so that you can interact. That is the idea for the live course. You can interact live for 10 days, so you can get to ask any questions that you would have had watching the videos. That is from the 3rd to the 13th of August. That is our live course. So check it out there on the website and make your booking there. Right, so let's get started. Let's look at trade recaps. Just note that if I go through a trade here, I'm not going to repeat it again. We're gonna do the market analysis for it as well. So let's start with gold. This was our chart of the week. I called out for this one for you could see that this was almost one of those definite trades like the silver trade a couple of weeks back. So we were looking to enter gold on confirmation. This is where we were on Sunday last week. This was our chart of the week. This is how this one has played out. As you can see, went all the way up here. For our first target, we'll be looking for more. Okay, so actually moved 420 pips. Thanks for the correction. I see the people that have been following this one. So this is 420 pips, right? It's a 420 pip trade in just 2 days, 2 or 3 days. So it was an amazing trade. Chart of the week, you should all have got this one. If you're not getting trades like this, you should consider joining our group. Right, so this is gold and silver. We also had a silver setup. Now, if you look at this chart was posted on the 14th of May. All right, so this was on the 14th of May. We were projecting that silver was going to reach 19, right? So that's what we had on the 14th of May. Then it moved about 280 pips. This is where we were. This is with the setup. We got a whole wave 3. Right, we got a whole wave 3, and we were now looking for this to get to target. Remember, at this point, we had moved 280. We still hadn't reached our target, so we still had another setup on silver for upside. Now, if you look at the next chart, you'll see that at the same time that we had a chart of the week on gold, we also had another amazing setup on silver, which played out inch perfect. That is how silver played out. Right, as you can see, that is what we're looking at here. So this has broken out of here. It has rallied on straight to the target at 19. We've hit our target now. We've made this pullback. We're still expecting silver to push a little bit higher. Now, what are we expecting for gold? So gold, we're also expecting it to push further. Just go back one on gold here. We're still expecting a move up on gold. We're expecting a pullback. We have actually started the pullback here on gold, but I don't think this is the end of the move. So we'll be looking out for this one in the week to see if this is actually going to be the 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to have another 5 here that is on gold. Right, so we had gold there. That is how gold played out. Silver. Now we're still on silver, the one on the 14th of May, the new setup here. And this is how we eventually hit the target. Amazing trades for last week. So our members had a great time trading this. It was obvious trades. All right, so next one was, this is actually the target. This is the full target from the 14th of May. This was the entry on the 14th of May. And the overall target that we're looking for was 1942. But look for a pullback now. You can look for a pullback. So you can see how many points silver moved from there, from 1572 to 1942. That is over 400 points on silver. Amazing, amazing trade. Right, so that is silver. Now, euro pound, these are our new trades that are still open. Euro pound, we've just posted this one on Thursday. That is the 8th of July. Am I right with the day there? So the 8th of July was actually a Wednesday. We posted this one up on last week Wednesday. It's a new trade. It has now started pushing lower. Let's have a look at that. So it has started pushing lower, as you can see. Still an open trade. We're a couple of pips in profit, almost 50, 70 pips on that one. We're still running that one. So you don't go and sell just because we're already in. We've got an entry setup that gives us a clear risk to reward ratio. So if you just go and sell now and it starts correcting, you're gonna panic and you're gonna run through a roller coaster ride of emotions. Now, we had a pound yen setup. We've been expecting pound yen to drop. Now, this one did not drop as we expected. We're not only going to share the winners, we don't only just share the winners. As you can see, this one did not play out as we wanted. It continued to the upside. But so we're going to be looking at an update on this one. Is this still going to drop? Because what we're looking for is an expanding flat. This expanding flat is still valid and these can still drop. So that is what we're going to be looking at in the next week, whether we get the drop here or whether we're going to get one more push to the upside. But I'm more looking downside for a drop on pound yen. This is how this one has played out. Right, so we didn't get that one. Just the same as we're actually looking for the pound pairs to make these flat corrections and drop. But as you've seen how the market has played out, we did not get this drop here. It actually continued to the upside. This is how it looks on the next chart. Okay, so this is practical trading. This happens. So if you only getting the winners, then there's something wrong there. So this is what we have. We're looking for this to be an expanding flat. This one has broken out there, has broken the guideline for an expanding flat. So we may be looking for a change in structure. So we'll look for more data on pound US dollar. All right, so we also have more trades open. So as you can see here, this is now US dollar yen, a very nice one that we picked up from a very good entry here, and this one has already dropped over 100 pips. This is 107.34. We went down to about 106.50. That's about 80 pips. This is where we are now, and this is how this one is playing out. As you can see here, we had two entries. This was the first entry. This was our second entry. Okay, so US dollar yen is going very well. It's a very nice trade. It's going very well. That is what we're looking for. It is still open, so we're gonna update that when it is complete. So let me just go back there. So that was a US dollar yen. So the yen pairs have been very clear. That is a US dollar yen, euro. Now this one is Audi yen. So another new trade setup that we posted on Tuesday. This one is now starting to drop as well, almost 50 pips up, still an open trade as well. As you can see, this is Audi New Zealand. So we can see we're already about 40 pips into profit on this one. So we'll be looking for this one to ride all the way down. Euro yen picked it up from the blue box, has made a move like this, made a bit of a retest here, and it is now dropped and got out of the structure. This is how this one is playing out. Very interesting trade. It is pulling back now. So this pullback could be a corrective structure, and we're still going to be looking for this one to drop further down. That is euro yen. All right. Next one is pound chief. Now, pound chief, I have to take you through the whole trade setup from the top to the bottom, from the bottom going up. Now, this is the trade setup that we have been looking at for a couple of weeks. Last week, I showed you how we traded this one from the top to the bottom here. Now, we also showed you, okay, let's just look at how this one played out from the top to the bottom. You've seen this one. This was a 440 pip trade. So 440 pips from here drops to target and then starts a reversal. Last week you saw how the reversal had started, and I said this was also a chart of the week. Let's have a look at how it played out in the week. It was also another chart of the week. So this is pound chief. Now this is the new trade setup for the last week. Remember, we had the drop from here coming down here. Last week we were here, we were in this corrective structure. Now we were looking for this one to push higher. We've made a small move. It's not so small because it's about 100 pip move now. This is how this is playing out now. So you can see from the top to the bottom. Now we're taking it from the bottom to the top. This is how wave analysis works. As you can see, pinpointed corrective structure here, entry here, and we're looking for this one to push a little bit higher from 1796, almost 90 pips already at 1880. Looking very good, pound chief. Now this looks more like a three-wave move. Is this going to continue pushing higher, or this is going to be a three-wave move and push lower? We're going to be waiting for this one to confirm to see if the pound pairs are going to drop or continue higher. This is not a convincing move to the upside, but we are in profit on that one, so it's looking good so far. Right, now this is Anglo-American Platinum. If you remember 2 weeks ago, but 3 weeks ago on the 22nd of June, I said, look out for Anglo-American Platinum. This is the stock that I trade on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange in South Africa. All right, so AMS, we looked for this one to push higher, and this is how this one has played out. Eventually, we are actually 30% up in profit on this one. This is a local stock on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, the JSE. We got the trade here from about 1,000. Now it is about 1,300, about a 30% increase on our portfolio on this one. So just to give you an idea of how this helps, I mean, I've just said some people have lost their jobs. I've got a friend of mine that I gave this trade to. He trades only stocks, so I gave him this trade. Just have a look here. This is the conversation that we had about this trade. All right, so this is the conversation that I had with one of my friends. He's not a full-time trader. He just trades stocks. So I gave him the trade. This was on the 20th. I just told him, if you're still trading AMS on Monday, buy. You need to buy. So he said he wants the target. So I just gave him I gave him the chart. This is the chart that I gave him on AMS. And then 2-3 days later, this is him commenting. I've just hidden his identity here. You can see the surname or the name there. So this is him now getting excited that it's moving and in the money. So even from the comfort of his home, he is making money because wave analysis, this is the reason why I'm showing you this, is to show you that wave analysis can work in any market. This is a stock on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Obviously, AMS is an international company, so you can find it in other exchanges as well. So if you traded AMS, you should have made money like my friend here. So as you can see here, he says that I have applied, I'll put in my stop tomorrow. This is him here. I'll put in my stop tomorrow and within profits. And that is how AMS has played out. 30% up in the portfolio on AMS. This is how we have traded this. Now let's go back to our charts here. Okay, so we are back. So I hope you can see the whole screen now. So that is how the week has gone, and that is what we've traded. The last one here, we also had the NIFTY. We also had the NIFTY. If you remember the NIFTY from the 27th of May, NIFTY broke out, and this was the trade, and it is now going towards target. This is the NIFTY, and it's going all the way to target. All right, that is how this has played out, and this is how we have traded in the week. Right, so let's get into the market analysis. We'll start with the US dollar pairs. Let's start with the DXY. Right now, looking at the DXY, let's have a look. So there were two options that we looked at last week, or for the last couple of weeks, whether this current move that is happening was the correction. Let's get my annotation tool out here. We're looking at whether this is a corrective structure here, and if this is going to drop, okay, for a wave 4. So that means this wave 4 is not done as yet. So it looks like the DXY is still going to continue lower. But let's look at this. So what you need to look at on the DXY, look for it to at least come and retest this low here. If it retests this low, we can even get a structure like this. We can even get a bounce and a move to the downside. As it is now, indications on the DXY are for downside. Okay, so we're looking for downside still on the DXY. There's still indications of further move to the downside. The DXY is not ready to make a move to the upside. And looking at the Euro US dollar, which is the inverse of the DXY, looks like it's going to push slightly higher, but structurally, this looks like it wants to make a drop. So it's a bit there's a bit of a conflict there between Euro US dollar and the DXY, because Euro US dollar looks like it's going to drop one more. Is it just going to drop one more and get to make this structure, while the DXY makes a slight move to the upside? So as it is now, we just need to wait for this corrective structure here, because the Euro looks like it will drop. Okay, or even if the Euro is, even if it's not the weakness in the Euro, it may be the short-term strength in the US dollar. Now, the reason why I'm looking at that, you'll see when we get to the indices are showing strength. So when the indices show strength, the US dollar gains strength as well. So we're gonna have to get a little bit more data here. So the likely structure on the Euro is this one here, that we drop here. But the structure, the actual structure that we're going to be looking for is this 3 waves to the downside. This one is a corrective structure, and we're going to be looking for this one to at least come down to this low here. That is Euro US dollar. Now, pound US dollar. Where is pound US dollar going? So we're going to be looking for pound US dollar. It is, as I've mentioned, pound US dollar has invalidated the expanding flat. So let's see here, we should see a bit of a pullback. So this will be a bit of a pullback here. We're gonna need to update the structure on pound US dollar. We'll look for pound US dollar to make one more up here. So we'll see one more up. So this is already an impulsive move, and to buy here, you need to get a decent corrective structure. So a bit of a pullback and a push to the upside on pound US dollar. Okay, so US dollar chief showing weakness. So US dollar chief should come back and retest this low here before any bounce to the upside. We should see this one. It has already broken that low here. The structure that we're looking for is a move to the upside. It's pulling back. So we'll want to see this one pulling back. Indicators are showing us this is not ready for a move to the upside yet. So US dollar chief will do this. Will make a push to the upside. Sorry, this should make one more move to the downside before pushing to the upside. So a 3-wave move, but we need to get this one to retest the low here before it goes, even if it's just a pullback here. That is on US dollar chief. US dollar CAD has made a pulsing move. Now, is this ready to break out of this structure? Because what we have here is a 3-wave move up on US dollar CAD. You've got another 3 waves back, but these 3 waves is smaller in degree compared to that. So we may see this one pushing up higher up to this level again. So what will that be doing? It will be giving us a structure this big. So now what you have here is basically a 3-wave move to the upside and a 3 waves back. Let's draw it cleanly, a 3 waves back and a move to the upside. For now on US dollar CAD, look for a corrective structure here on the 4-hour and a bit of a push to the upside, at least to retest this recent high here. Right, that is a US dollar CAD. Audi US dollar. Now Audi US dollar, we're looking for a triangle here. We're looking for this to give us a triangle. Let me just show you the structure here. We're looking for it to drop, but it does not look like it is dropping now. Like, it doesn't look like this triangle is going to play out. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is A, B, C, D, E. What we expected was for this one to give us a move like that. Let's see here. Is this going to confirm a move to the downside? If it does, then that is our structure plays out. But what you see here as well is that we have got a corrective structure here. If this is a corrective structure, Audi US dollar may make one more move to the upside, and if it makes one move to the upside, it's going to invalidate the whole triangle. So let's wait for confirmation here. If it gives us a sell setup here, then we get involved. We sell Audi US dollar for a move up to this level. Okay, so that is what we have on Audi US dollar. No confirmation, it's in the middle of nowhere. Even as far as the indicator is confirmed, consent, it is not showing us upside or downside, it's just going sideways. So let's give it more time, and so that we can get a bit more data on that one. New Zealand, we're also looking for this to drop. It has retested the top here. We have retested the top on the New Zealand. Okay, we've retested the top on the New Zealand. It's a 3-wave move to the upside. Is this going to now drop? Because if it drops, then that makes perfect sense as far as the structure is concerned. So let's have a look here. Do we have divergence on the RSI? Let's have a look. Looks like we've got some divergence. We've actually got very strong divergence, so we may start dropping from here. But as you can see, this is still sideways. It is flat. Not a very good trade to look at. US dollar ZAR. So US dollar ZAR, this follows US dollar CAD, which is making a move to the downside. Now, US dollar CAD has already made a bounce here, so expect US dollar to make a similar, US dollar ZAR to make a similar bounce as well. Bit of a move to the downside here and a push to the upside to make this structure. But if you look at this, making this structure, showing us that the South African rand may still be showing strength in the medium term against the US dollar. But short term, we want to see a move to the upside on the US dollar, a bit of a drop and then a push to the upside. Right, pound yen. Pound yen, we've already looked at this one during trade setup, so we wanted it to do that. It didn't. Now, it still looks like it is going to drop. Let's see here. If we get a corrective structure here, it will still play out this expanding flat. Let me just remove the labeling here so you can see the structure. If you look at the whole structure here, we're seeing a pulsing move here. It's actually a 3-wave move, but we're seeing another 3-wave pullback. So what we have here on pound yen is this is what we're looking for. A zigzag combined with an expanding flat, and we're going to be looking for another 3-wave structure to the downside. So this 3-wave structure that I'm showing you here does not have to be a zigzag. It can be any of the Elliott Wave corrective structure. So let's see here if this is going to continue dropping. Looks like it will continue to drop. US dollar yen, I've already shown you this one. This is our trade setup. I showed you this one on our trade setup. We're already in the trade here. Already got this in here at around the top here. Now, what are we looking at on US dollar yen? Look at this structure here. It looks very clear now. I've just made some adjustments on the structure. It's 3 waves down here. It's 3 waves up. We're looking for another 3 waves to the downside. Let me switch off here so you can see the structure only. So if you look at this here, we have got a move down. 1, 2, 3. This is what I mean by 3 waves. Now you also have another 3 waves here. This is what I mean by 3 waves. Is you have got another 3. You've got an expanding flat. Now we're looking for the expanding flat to play out for the last move, and we're looking for this one to get around this level. That is how we're looking at US dollar yen. So now US dollar yen, if you get corrective structures or pullbacks for downside, you keep taking them. Euro yen, we're already on the trade on this one. Look out for a pullback here. You saw this one under trade recaps. look for pullbacks and continuation to the downside. We had a 3-wave move down here. We had a corrective structure here. Are we going to make a move to the downside? So if you get a setup here, your first target should be here. Move to break even when you get to this level. Look for this one to continue lower, or it can just give you a similar 3-wave move like you did here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we can be looking for another 1, 2, 3. So a deeper pullback will be convincing for another move to the downside. Very likely that that deeper pullback comes at this level. Comes at this level, you get this, you get that, you get exactly what you had in the first leg here. So that is what euro yen is giving us. WXY structure. Right, chief yen, another one already dropping. Now, to get a good idea of how this is playing out, how we focus this, you can see that some of these, I didn't show you the forecast, but we had them because we've got all this listed on the website for our members. So members can just go into any pair and pick up and look at all time frames. So for example, if you want to look at the euro yen, this is how euro yen has played out. This is why we picked up euro yen from the top. Coming down here, as you can see, it's already dropped. And if you go to chief yen as well, let's go to chief yen. You can see that we focused on the move to the downside. It has already dropped as well. We're a bit, we're down here now. We're pulling back. We think we're still going to make a move to the downside. That is chief yen and the rest of the yen pairs. So let's have a look at Audi yen as well. So Audi yen, we're expecting it to make a bit of a push to the upside. This was on the 5th of July. We've made this push to the upside here. Let's see how Audi yen has played out eventually after that. So looking at Audi yen, this is how Audi yen has played out. So Audi yen, as you can see, we expected a push here. Let me show you the labeling so you can see where we were. Let's show this one here. We expected this push here, upside and then downside. That is the downside that you see now. Why were we looking for that? We're simply looking for this to be a flat correction. We've been looking at this during the daily live webinars that we have in our group. So we'll be looking for this one to drop. Now it has confirmed and we're looking downside. We're going to be taking a trade based on our strategy for more downside. So the structure you're looking for here is simply this 1, 2, 3. That is how we catch these moves. Right, so that is Audi. I've skipped CAD there. So CAD is going also to the downside. As you can see, let me just have a look here. This is the structure on Audi, no, CAD yen. A move to the upside, we are dropping in. We've got a pulsing move here. We had a pulsing move to the downside. We have a corrective structure. Now we are dropping. Now this drop, let me just show you the drop here. So this drop here started with a pulsing move, with a pullback, and now we're dropping to the downside. So look for pullbacks to the downside as you go down. Pullback, you keep taking this one. So this is going to be a strong move to the downside. Okay, so this is CAD yen. That is what we're looking for there. Audi yen, we already looked at this one. New Zealand yen. So New Zealand yen eventually has also played out this expanding flat there. So this is an expanding flat on New Zealand yen. Right now, this is why we are starting to drop on New Zealand yen. This pullback, is this going to make one more up? There is a possibility. You need to be careful before you take the trade. The trade has to confirm downside because as it is now, this is an expanding flat. And an expanding flat is a continuation pattern. You may get one more up before the drop. But if you get a setup for downside, indicator confirms, then we are all going all the way to the downside on New Zealand. Still showing strength. We've already looked at commodities. What we didn't look at is Brent crude. Now, Brent crude, what you want to look at is a very clear structure here. If you get this here on Brent crude, this one breaking to the top here, we are going to go to new highs here on Brent crude. So look out for this one to break out of the structure. So what we have here structurally, if you want to see here, this is the structure. This is actually the wave 5 we're going to adjust here. We're going to adjust our wave 5 here. It's actually going to be here. Now, what we have here is a corrective structure on flat corrective structure, and we're going to have further downside here. Let's just have a look here. Right. So let me just clear this here. Let's clear the structure. Right. So don't forget to look out for our chart of the week, guys, on our social pages. So oil, look for this to break to the upside. Look for this to break further to the upside. So the oil is showing strength together with the metals. Right, so looking at the pound pairs, we've already looked at pound chief, looking for continuation to the upside. As I've said, be mindful of this possibility of a three-way move to the downside. As it is now, we're still seeing upside until we see signs of reversal. We're gonna then update the structure. Pound Audi, now look out for pound Audi. Pound Audi may be dropping as well. So this is a very nice corrective structure on pound Audi. I would actually put this one as a chart of the week, but just because it has already dropped so much, we're not going to put it up. So there is a better chart that we're going to put in for the trade of the week. So just look out for that one. So pound Audi, we're looking for this. As much as this looks like it's making a move to the upside, pound Audi looks like it's going to drop. And the indicators are telling us that as well. Pound New Zealand, so pound New Zealand as well does not look, pound New Zealand is showing some upside. So we may get this here, three wave up and a move to the downside. So that three waves up can even be an expanding flat here or a running flat before the drop. That is pound New Zealand. Not clear for now, wait for confirmation. If you see a buy setup here, don't take pound Audi either. Pound CAD. Pound CAD, last week we were looking for this one to continue from here. So that structure has obviously changed. So we're going to be looking for this one to make a pullback. Look out for a pullback here on pound Audi. Looks like we're going to have some strength here on pound Audi. Our trade did not play, our forecast did not play out last week. This is what we had. All right, we're going to update that structure. Euro pound, we already have a setup for this one. I showed you this one during trade setup. Look out for continuation to the downside. So euro pound, look out for continuation to the downside. That means strength in the pound pairs short term. Right, euro Audi. Euro Audi looks very interesting for downside. Just like pound Audi, if you look at euro Audi can come and retest this low here. But overall, euro Audi, what we are looking for is this. So very likely that euro Audi is going to drop, come down and make a move to the upside. So this is what we're looking for on euro Audi. Look for it to drop. Very likely. So this could be another one of those charts that you can check out on our social pages. EURCAD, anything that looks like a sell setup on EURCAD, take it. Anything that looks like a sell setup, we're going to be taking it, because what you have on EURCAD is a very complex corrective structure. I can't remember if I showed you here or if we've shown it in our live trading room. We have got this move. We have got these complex, what looks like a complicated corrective structure. It's not complicated if you understand wave analysis, and I'll show you how we dissect that. So what we have here on that, we're expecting this one to come down in this move. We're expecting it to come down in yellow. We started with an impulsive move to the upside here. That is an impulsive move to the upside. So we should end with this, and eventually what we are going to have is a structure like this. That is the corrective structure. That is a whole corrective structure. Now, if you look at this, we had something similar. This is actually a three-way move up here. Looks like an expanding flat to the upside. So could be another three waves here. Let me just put this one as three waves. So you could have another three waves here. The same way here, you had 1, 2, 3 here, and you had this complicated structure here, pulse move down, complicated structure here, comes down here like that. What happens then? You get a three-way move to the upside. These are fractals. 1, 2, 3. Can you see the similarities here? I've just drawn this one in yellow. I should have used the same colors. But what you have here is that this is eventually going to give you this structure, which is this one here. That is the structure that we're going to be looking for. So that corrective structure there. So you're looking for this one to drop. So the moves that we're waiting for is 1 and 2. That those have not played out here. That is 1 and 2 have not played out. This is what we're following here on the structure that has already played out. And you can see how complex that was, but it's not complex. We are able to dissect and identify and label the correct structure. So you can take a screenshot and snapshot and study the chart there. EURCHF. EUROCHF is coming down within an ending diagonal in wave C. EUROCHF expect that at some point you're going to have a sharp move to the upside, the same way we had this sharp move here when we ended this wave 5. The same way we started this sharp move to the upside. So we will have another sharp move here because what we have here is 1, is 2, is 3, ending diagonal in 5 waves. Then we're going to expect a sharp move in 3 waves. That is EUROCHF, Euro New Zealand. Euro New Zealand is also showing signs of upside. So Euro New Zealand will keep crawling down here. We should get a bounce up here to make this 3-wave structure here. Let's look at the crosses. Looking at the crosses, Audi New Zealand, there's nothing to look at there. So there will be a continuation pattern. It won't give us a retest, so it's just going to go straight from there. AUDCHF, we forecasted the drop, but the drop is coming down correctively. So this is going to make one more up. It's not done yet. Still going to make one more up. Audi New Zealand, we have this one as a trade setup. We're already on the sell on Audi New Zealand. New Zealand CAD, expect a pullback. This is where we expected it to pull back. We'll be expecting a pullback to start happening now. New Zealand CHF, we expected this one to give us this 3-wave move here. Didn't drop here, it can still drop from current levels and give us the exact same structure that we're expecting, the 3-wave move here like that. CADJPY, CADJPY should give us this structure, a corrective structure there. Let me just switch off here. Look out for a bounce there on CADJPY. Right, now let's go through the indices. Now, if you wanted to high probable setups in the next coming weeks, look at the indices. Look at the S&P 500. The S&P 500, the expectation was for this to make a 3-wave corrective structure last week. We saw a bit of a reaction here. It did not go all the way. I expected it to do this, but now it is setting up very nicely for upside. So we've got this one here. We're expecting this one to drop. So structure is changing slightly. That means this could be all the corrective structure on S&P 500. Now on Monday, when the market opens, this is the trade setup for upside. Chart of the week. Okay, not actually the S&P 500. If you wanted to trade the indices, rather trade the Dow. The Dow is a lot clearer than the S&P 500. Both the Dow Jones, the industrial, and the Dow Jones transportation. Look at the industrial. You've got a setup for upside. How far will this upside go? Target the recent highs. Target the recent highs because the setup and the volumes looks like it's going to push much higher. So the indices, those who trade the DAX, the NASDAQ, look for a push to the upside. The NASDAQ, in any case, is at all-time highs. So Dow Jones Transportation, look for upside there. Confirmation on Monday, you take it up. Now, this is clear for all the indices. Let's look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is at all-time highs, so any pullback on the NASDAQ, even this size, this is even better. This is even better on the NASDAQ, but you're not going to get these deep corrective structures. The NASDAQ is going to make new highs. Okay, so we know that after the new highs, it's going to drop, but it takes some time for this to drop. So keep buying the NASDAQ. Keep buying the NASDAQ every time you get 1-hour corrections. Okay, whenever you get 1-hour corrections, if you look at the 1 hour, this is a corrective structure, this is a corrective structure, this is a corrective structure, clear corrective structures. Every time this happens, you buy the NASDAQ, buy the NASDAQ, buy the NASDAQ. You can see so many opportunities on the NASDAQ. This was the entry at the bottom here on the NASDAQ, and you keep buying the NASDAQ to the upside. That's how easy the indices are. You just have to buy the indices in the next coming week and manage your trades. All right, so this is the recent one. This is the 1 hour on the NASDAQ. So that means on Monday, when the market opens, you can just buy the NASDAQ. But I prefer that you wait a bit, don't just go in when the market opens. So give it a bit of time. Let's go back to the 4 hour. Now on the 4-hour, look for the UK 100 to also push higher. We've made this structure, a pulsing move to the upside. This is a corrective structure. We expect this one to make a move to the upside. Whether it's just gonna be here and pull back to get this structure before pushing higher, doesn't matter for now. Just look for this move to the upside. Look for upside here, at least back to this level on the UK 100. The DAX, now looking at the DAX, again, one of those that are definitely going to the upside. Indicators are showing us upside. Look out for this. You should be making money on Monday with the indices. Look out for corrective structure, this corrective structure to confirm, and then upside. You need to use your own strategy for that. This is the DAX. We're looking for further upside. All right, so the Nikkei, lastly, that's the last but not least. Nikkei showing a bit of a pullback, but that pullback will be short-lived because this will just come back down to this level and will keep pushing higher, at least to retest these recent highs here on the Nikkei. So we may even get this and then upside. For now, we're not worried about this long-term or medium-term. We'll look for a pullback and then upside on the Nikkei. And lastly, the Nifty, we've already looked at the Nifty. It's going all the way to target. The Indian traders who trade the NSE, this is a move to the upside. It's going to reach target. We've taken it from the bottom. You can see there's just one of those textbook trades on the Nifty. All right, that is what we had for this week. Look out for the crypto analysis on the next video. Check out Crypto Corner for analysis on Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptocurrencies. Thank you for watching. Have a great week. Trade responsibly. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you're new. Cheers. Bye.